It sure is that time. The halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio with your boy Omar Duri, live in the heart of Sharjah. Thank you very much for tuning in wherever you're tuned in around the world, whether it's 95 FM, pulse95radio.com, our app Al Maraya, or even if you're watching us on YouTube. Shout out to you guys and thank you for joining us on the hour. And boy, do I have a treat for you today, because I have a special guest for you today. Melissa Fomina is going to be on the show today. And not only that, we're going to be talking about psychology, mental health, and all the above, because she is awesome like that. And guess what? It's her first time on radio. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there because I always love to bring on these professionals that come on radio for the first time, and I hope it's going to be just as fantastic as I know it will be. And speaking of fantastic, couple of shout outs we have to give today. The first one goes out to my mum because she always tunes in. The second one goes out to Leon, who passed her driving license. I told her I was going to say it on air, and now the whole of the UAE know. Congratulations, Liliana, for passing your driving test. Manal, who is fantastic at baking. Oh my days. She brought in a treat the other day and I had to give her a shout out. And it's her first time tuning on Pulse 95 Radio, so she got that. And of course, the legend himself, the man, the myth, the legend, Florin, who is always tuned in from the US, but actually is tuned in from the UAE today. And I have to give him a shout out because you know what? Game recognizes game. But anyway, enough of that. Let's take a break. We're going to play a great tune for you. We're going to play Feelings by Hour. And when we're back, Melissa will be on the show. You do not want to miss this, folks. It sure is that time. The halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio, live with your boy Omar Duri. Remember, you can catch us every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time. And if you do miss the show, don't worry. We've got the podcast there for you on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud. Or if you want to see our fantastic guests, head over to our YouTube channel, Pulse 95 Radio, and they are there. Speaking of fantastic guests, on the show today, in the red corner, Melissa Fomina. Melissa, welcome to the show. How are you feeling? A little bit nervous, did you say? Okay. And tell me, hold on one second, we're just going to sort this out. Can you talk again? Can I get you to go use the second mic there? Even better. Now we're talking. Now we are talking. Right, okay, Melissa, so now you're here and you are live. How does it feel to be on Pulse 95 Radio, the halftime show? It's your first time.
I'd say it's an exciting experience. So I'm looking forward to it.
Me and you had a chat. I was very, very fascinated by what you do. You're a coach, psychology graduate, and someone who looks at psychology in a holistic way. Talk to me about that word holistic. I'm super, super keen on that word and very interested. When I ask you what holistic means, what comes to mind?
I think for me, holism basically means the mind, body, and soul as a whole.
Okay.
So in the fitness industry, a lot of people do it at a more surface level, where they look at a body transformation and their physique. Whereas if you look at it from a more holistic standpoint, you can see that there is something that comes into play when it's about mental health.
Right.
Or it's just the feeling that it gives you from the inside, so it nurtures your soul. So that's how I see holism in the fitness industry.
Yeah. And it's interesting you say in the fitness industry. How does it differ from the fitness industry to the regular day-to-day?
I think the thing is, in fitness, it's been a bit of a tricky industry lately because of all the impact that the media is putting on fitness as a whole.
Yeah.
There are a million different stereotypes that are out there. And in fitness, it's almost crucial to have a holistic understanding of knowing that because you're doing fitness, you're doing it for something greater than what other people can see. You're doing it for yourself.
Right.
In life, it's similar. Everything you do at the end of the day for yourself.
Yeah.
But just at this moment in time, because fitness is being constructed and deconstructed in so many different ways, I think it's important to focus on holism within this industry specifically.
Yeah, I love that. When did you know that this is what you wanted to do? When did you discover your why, especially with psychology and making an impact in fitness?
So I actually started out in dance school when I was very young. Then I graduated dance school and joined a dance company. Now, the dance industry is also a very vast industry, and it does come with its mental challenges. So eventually, as I was working as a dancer, I started my undergraduate in clinical psychology, and then I graduated with the intent of working in psychology further. So while I was studying, I also started doing fitness apart from dance. So bodybuilding, powerlifting, CrossFit, all these things. And then eventually I just shifted into fitness, and I think I took that knowledge that I gained in my program and I applied it to my current fitness job.
Wow, that's super interesting how you go from one extreme to another, but you say it so casually, like that's what people would do normally. That's definitely when you're dancing and you're doing your thing, and you could be a fantastic dancer, and then you go from that to psychology. Is there something was there like an aha moment or a spark that made you think that's where I need to go, that direction?
I think it was just my personal experience. I've had mental health struggles from quite a young age because of, the pressures of the dance society.
Yeah.
And then eventually you learn to work on these things, and you realize that people around you perhaps don't have the same understanding as you do because you've been through it. So it kind of came to me that I would want to work with people who are suffering from certain things that have come up in their lives, and perhaps apply my knowledge and my experiences to assist them with bettering their lives.
Wow, fantastic. And that's just the start. I told you she was going to be good. I did say, and it's her first time. That did not sound like a first time, by the way.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we're back, we got much more of Melissa, so don't go anywhere, folks. We're going to play you, this one is for the guy who listens from the US. It's called Flowers. It's called AJ Tracy, and it's Georgia Smith. That time is only one time. It's the halftime show on Pulse 95 Radio with your boy Omar Duri, live in the heart of Sharjah. And not just that, but we are super, super happy to have Melissa here in the studio. Melissa, I got to pick your brain on something because I was speaking to Florin, and Florin mentioned to me something about the tie-up between mental and emotional, let's say fitness. Let's call it fitness. It's a practice, but let's call it that. What's your take on the balance of those two, and are they the same thing or are they different?
I think for me personally, if I look at it from a psychology standpoint, they're different.
Okay.
Because mental health is more of a state of being, right? For example, if someone says they are suffering from depression, that's a state of being. But emotions and emotional health, it can change throughout the state, right? So you can be happy one day, upset another day, excited for something, or disappointed, and these fluctuate. So I think emotions are part of mental health, but it's not the same thing.
I like that. And I want to ask you something, and this is me kind of getting personal on the show, but sometimes I've learned to remove emotion from my action so that I'm not too emotionally attached. Does that make sense? Does that exist?
Yeah, it does.
Can you tell me more about why I feel like that, or how I do that?
I think perhaps the reason why people like to separate their emotions from their actions is because of an instilled fear, or perhaps you're afraid of something affecting you more than you want it to affect you.
Okay.
Right? If people are more in tune with their emotions, they are the ones who usually tend to detach from them because they know that eventually something is going to affect them.
Okay.
Right? So the more you know yourself, the more you know what scenarios are going to affect you and what scenarios it's better to detach yourself from.
Interesting. And I'll give you the scenario just to add clarity to that. So I was living in the same house all my life when I was in London. And recently we sold the house. But for some reason, I was completely fine with letting it go. And the reason why I was fine with letting it go was because I removed the nostalgia and the emotional attachment I had to it to focus on present and future. So when you were talking about emotional versus the mental, I think the mental for me would be a practice, and the emotional would be something where, based on experience, I would feel like I would need to take a step back, reflect. Normally I say it's GAS: G, gratitude; A, appreciation; and S, self-reflection. So if I can target those three, I can then focus on removing the emotion out of it. So is it normal for people to be able to play about with it and see what works for them, or is there different ways to kind of approach that kind of topic?
It is completely relative to the person. If they know that, for example, in your scenario, you knew that you were going into something better and you had to focus into what you are doing right now, into the present, right? So then the past, it's just a part of you and it follows along throughout your journey. However, you have to focus at the task at hand. And this perhaps is what helped you really put in all your eggs into the basket. Right?
Yeah. I find that super interesting. And is there a tie between emotional and physical exercise?
Definitely.
How so?
Well, if you're emotionally not in the right headspace, then your performance is not going to match.
Okay.
Right? If you're emotionally, for instance, talk about discipline, right?
Yeah.
If you're feeling disciplined enough and you have a motive, and this motive is inspiring you, thus you feel, let's say, happy.
Yeah.
Then when you go into the gym or whatever workout you do, you put in the effort, right? If you're feeling down, you've had a stressful day, you come into the gym, the performance isn't matching. It's going to lack, and you're not going to be able to really exert yourself as much as you would if you had the motivation of a positive emotion.
Wow, what a segment. Oh my God, Melissa, you need to stop. Actually, don't stop, keep going. Great segment. I'm super interested in this. I could probably talk about this all day. I'm going to take a quick break, and then when I come back, I'm going to pick your brain on more. And even behind the scenes, I'm still going to keep asking the questions. Right, let's take a quick break. We're going to play Beyonce, Water, Pharrell Williams. It's up next on Halftime Show on Pulse 95 Radio. Love this tune. God, what a tune. Pulse 95 Radio, Omar Duri live with Melissa Fomina here on the Halftime Show. What a show it's been so far. If you did miss the first two segments and you're kicking yourself for not catching it, don't worry. Catch all the episodes on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, or even No Pressure Mario, but get this YouTube clip out quick because it's been fire so far. Melissa, you grew up here in the UAE. How has that shaped your mindset?
Growing up in the UAE is definitely a unique experience, especially when I go abroad and I talk about it to other people. Because when you grow up here, you don't have a sense, perhaps maybe some may think it's a negative thing, but you don't really have a sense of culture.
Okay.
Because there are so many expats here. You get a little bit of everything. You don't have any form of prejudice towards people because you don't know any other way, right? I went to school with people from over 112 nationalities.
Wow.
And then you work with people who are from different places, different cultures, different religions, and different outlooks on life. And this just gives you a very multicultural perspective on life. You're more open to things, and I think it definitely develops your understanding of people.
How has that misconception of what it's like living in the UAE, from the people you've spoken to, for example, how has that changed after having the conversation with someone who's actually been in here and grown up here?
I think people have, from abroad, they have a perception that UAE is a luxury life, and people are closed-minded because they're focused more on the financial aspects of life.
Right.
This is a beautiful city that offers a lot to its citizens, but it's not just the financial side of it, right? This is a place where you can share everything with people from all around the world because this is our country, right? So I see this place as home. And people kind of realize, the ones that I've spoken to from abroad, that this country has so much more to offer than just the beautiful sights that it has and, you know, the luxury that they see on the outside.
She speaks well, huh? And it's not a Netflix show. You know what I mean? It's like real talk. I love it. From the way you've seen things evolve here in the UAE and the direction it's going at, how hard is it to leave a place like the UAE to go even longer than a week or 2 weeks on holiday?
Very, very difficult. I have not left this country for longer than 3 months.
Okay. And was that weird for you?
It was strange,
Yeah.
indeed.
Yeah.
I'm used to being in this place. It's a safe space for me.
Right.
But when I go abroad, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
The world has a lot to offer, but it's just no place like home.
Yeah. Love that. Now speaking about that, people in the UAE normally, like it around the world, they always try to strike the right balance between work, health, well-being, and fitness. How would you encourage them to do so?
It's about finding the motivation.
Okay.
Everything starts from motivation,
Mhm.
and then motivation turns into discipline
Mhm.
eventually.
Yeah.
Right? If you want to you need to have separate segments to your life,
Yeah.
because work is one thing, and a lot of people are lucky to do what they love.
Mm-hmm.
But we live here, and we all have to put in the effort.
Yeah.
And there are scenarios where people perhaps don't do what they love,
Mm-hmm.
so they need to find space in their lives
Yeah.
to do the things that really bring them joy,
Yeah.
whether it be fitness or any other hobbies,
Mm-hmm.
just for their own mental health and
Yeah.
their well-being.
When you want to get physically fit, you go to the gym. But when you want to get mentally fit, where'd you go?
I go to the gym.
Okay. So that helps the other.
Yes, because it's just an outlet for me.
Okay.
It's a way to stop thinking, forget about the day if I've had any form of stress inflicted upon me,
Yeah.
and just really zone in, have that mind to muscle connection.
Yeah.
And then I always come out at least 1% happier than
Mhm.
I came in. Even if it's been an incredible day,
Yeah.
it gets even better.
Okay. And for those people listening, what type of training do you do when you go to the gym?
So I just like to mix my training.
Mhm.
I specialize in spinning,
Okay.
so rhythmic cycling. And then I like to powerlift as well,
Mhm.
and bodybuild,
Mm-hmm.
and just different forms of conditioning.
She's very good at spinning, by the way. She's serious. She's great. You said bodybuilding there. Why I find that super interesting for someone that's grown up in the UAE as a female and as a specialist. What is the idea against bodybuilding for females?
As previously mentioned,
Yeah.
it's all about the media
Right.
nowadays. Especially when it comes to perhaps my generation, we're so heavily influenced by what we see online.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so many different things that you see. There's women who are lifting,
Yeah.
and they have incredible muscle mass. And then
Yeah.
there are women who are more focused on Pilates and walking, so low intensity, steady
Mhm.
state exercise.
Mm-hmm.
And they have a leaner body type.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot going on.
Mm.
And I think here, because we're so affected and we're so connected with the world, it's becoming a bit of a, what do I choose? Where do I
Yeah.
want to be?
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, everyone has their own internal physique.
Mm.
And it's really just finding what works for you,
Mm.
what makes you happy, but also keeps you mentally healthy.
Mm. I love the fact you said that internally, because a lot of the times they're looking at endomorph, ectomorph, mesomorph. What type of body type am I as a female, as a male? What should I be doing? What should I be doing? Weight's going to make me get bigger. But then when you mention that, you've almost summed it up perfectly, because it's internal more than external.
Mm-hmm.
Fantastic. Right. Okay. The Asr prayer is coming up. I'm going to let that happen because we have to. And as soon as we come back, if you have any questions, do text me on 4215 or slide into my DMs at Omar Al-Duri on Instagram, and we'll have all the questions answered for you. I'm sure Florin will be definitely asking questions because that's what he does, and we couldn't do anything without him. And then after that, we've got one more segment, folks, so make sure you do tune in for that last segment. The Asr prayer is coming up. But just a quick reminder that we are available on all the podcasts on Apple, Spotify, SoundCloud, or on Visual Pulse 95 Radio YouTube channel. We are there. We'll take a quick break and we'll be right back after this, folks. Don't go anywhere, and we'll see you after this. Halftime show, Pulse 95 Radio. When the music is banging, you know it's my show. Not bragging, just saying. Halftime show, Pulse 95 Radio. Every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time. We have the best guests in the business live on your screens, on your phones, in the car, you name it, we have it. And we're super, super blessed to have Melissa Fomina here on the show today on Pulse 95 Radio. What a segment we had in segment 3, but segment 2 was also good. In segment 1, we were just getting warm, and now it just seems I can't get you out of here because it's just perfect. You're doing great. I wanted to ask you, from your experience, especially like in the fitness industry, there's something that I just learned about you in the break now, which was that you only do group training. You don't do personal training. Mm-hmm. Can you tell me, because this is very unique for me, can you tell me why?
I have spent all my life in a group setting, as in dance. You dance with a troupe. Mm-hmm. And I think that followed along into my fitness journey. Yeah. I do train in solitude. So when I'm bodybuilding or weight training, I do it alone. But if I really want to do something such as cardio, I need to do it in a group setting. Right. Because you get the extrinsic motivation from people around you. Yeah. You see how people exert themselves. And I think unintentionally and subconsciously, it influences you to do better. And you kind of collect the energy in a way, and then you exert yourself even more. So you use it in a positive way. It's almost like it's infectious, but it's in a good infectious. Okay. Yes. What kind of classes does that for you? Spinning classes. Okay. Always. Teaching and being part of it? Yes, teaching and being part of it. Okay. Just a conditioning class. Yeah. Using the ski, the rower, all of those machines as well. These are nice to do with other people. Okay. You see them finish before you. If you have a competitive nature, you'll speed up a little bit, put a bit more effort. Okay. And those are the main kind of exercises that I like to do with a team. How competitive do you get with yourself? Very competitive. I am hard on myself, and I always have been. Right. And is that something that has been there from day one, or is that something you built up over time? It's been there from day one. Okay. I think being in a competitive industry has shaped me into this way a bit more. Right. I've learned to be not so hard on myself anymore. Nice. Because you need time to rest and recover. But yes, it's nice to have this kind of internal feeling of I can be better and I can do more. Yeah. And how, can I ask you, how do you work on self-care? What do you do for self-care? Like, because it seems like you're very in tune with how your body is. You listen to your body, you listen to your mind, you do all these things. But for those people listening, they're thinking, clearly Melissa's a professional. This is what she does. But how have you got to that point? Trial and error. Okay. Honestly. There were moments in my life where I would train without a break. And maybe the mind can keep doing it, but the body has its limits. Okay. Right? It is limitless in a way. But when your body tells you to stop doing something and shows you, that's when you really know you need to take a break. And throughout this trial and error period, I really got to know what my body prefers and what it doesn't, and how my physique changes at the time, and what corresponds with those physique changes. Yeah. Sometimes even my emotional health, if I feel like I've been a little bit stressed at work, at my office job throughout the day, and if I need to just sit down at home, watch a movie and eat some popcorn, I can do that as well. Nice. You're going to be hearing a bunch of people now running over to make their popcorn at home. Yes. And say, if she does it, we can do it. It's a Saturday. Help yourself. Yes. It's a football day. And by the way, if you're wondering, Manchester City are playing against Newcastle right now, 3:30. I haven't forgotten. But my hands have been full in the studio here, so I've been very engaged in the conversation on mental health, on emotional health, on physical health. And fuel is one thing, Melissa, I want to ask you about. Because people talk about fuel and the importance of nutrition, but it's not just what you feed your body, it's also what you feed your mind. How do you fuel your mind? You fuel your mind, I fuel my mind in a way that I like to disconnect. Okay. I spend a lot of my day in social media because I work in the marketing sector. So these are just things that I sometimes need to detach from. Right. So that I can really just have a peaceful moment. So these moments of silence are moments of self-reflection, and that's how I really feed my mind.
Yeah.
Because I like to analyze what I've done throughout the day, sometimes analyze my progress.
Yeah.
Or work on certain things that I have building up in me.
Okay.
And that's how I end up feeding my mind.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, our minds have been fed for sure. Where can we follow you?
Melissa_Fomina on Instagram.
See, you pronounced it the way that I was asking how you should pronounce it, you see. You kept that one from me, but I like it. Okay, fantastic. And you teach classes everywhere. How does that go about?
I'm a freelance spinning and group exercise instructor. So I teach in various gyms around UAE.
Amazing, amazing. Hopefully we'll get you in Sharjah as well, because apparently, rumor has it, it's your first time in Sharjah, even though you grew up in the UAE.
Indeed it is.
See, we put her on the spot, but you know what? She responded and reacted fantastic. Can I get a yeah? There you go, you see it. And you know what? She was so good, we might bring her back. No, I'm serious, we might bring her back. Yeah, that's going to be back. And not only that, but you've been a fantastic guest. Before I let you go, how was your first ever radio experience?
I loved it.
Really?
Yes.
You're not just guessing me?
No, I'm not. I enjoyed every single second of it.
Amazing. And you're always welcome back to Sharjah, and you're always welcome back on Pulse 95 Radio. You've been a fantastic guest, and I can't wait for friends and family to see your episode.
Thank you so much for having me, and I had the time of my life.
Amazing. Guys, you can catch me every Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, 3 to 4 UAE time, and have a fantastic weekend. Where is the full-time whistle? There it is. Take care, stay blessed, and I'll see you guys soon. Salam.